how do you feel about Adam and CT? Huh? How do you feel that Adam would trade CT for every day? The whole beef with Adam and CT, I really don't know too much about that. I actually like caught clips of it on YouTube and like being on the channels, you know, hearing about the fight or whatever. I guess they beef go far back, but for Adam, that's a good guy to have on your team. Like CT is definitely one of the most stronger competitors there, and everybody. One thing that I hated while I was dealing with the challenge is how much people feared him. What do I fear? I fear God and I fear my mom. I don't fear like another grown man, and you'll hear me saying it. So my thing is for these challenges, I'm not in fear of who I'm going up against. I'm in fear of what the challenge is, meaning like if I gotta jump off a building, meaning if I gotta like, you know, jump into some water, who I'm going against is nothing. That's the least of my worries. So when I see these guys like, you know, yeah, and maybe you'll see it on the next one, on the next episode. I don't know how much of they're gonna show, but a lot of these guys, you know, are definitely intimidated by CT. Kenny Real, who would you rather be in the jungle against, Evan and Nehemiah or Kenny and Wes? That's a tough one right there. I would definitely have to say, I would rather be in the jungle with Kenny and Wes because of the fact that I feel like they're the stronger team against, you know, Evan and Nehemiah. I don't feel like Evan could probably even run a mile. So Mike's a previous cross-country runner, and I can run myself. So it's all about, when it comes down to it, it's all about who I want to see make the final. Miranda 88, what was my worst fear being on the rivals? My worst fear is heights. Like, I am super afraid of heights, and I'm super afraid of like jumping off into some water. So for me, that right there would have been the worst thing that I ever have to do, and hopefully I won't have to do it the whole time while I'm on there. Victoria Marsha, who did I argue with while I was on the rivals? I really didn't argue with anybody that I know of. Like, I really didn't get into it with nobody. Nobody picked on me because of the fact that, well, first of all, I'm not one to be picked on, and secondly, I don't really give off that vibe of like somebody that you want to try, and like if somebody like dish something at me, I just like dish it right back. So for me, it was like all love. If you had to pick another, and this is B Bulls, if you had to BP Bulls 07, you had to pick another teammate other than Mike, who would you have? You know what, off my season, I would say Dustin. Like Dustin, even though Dustin can be a bitch sometimes, we all seen on my Las Vegas season how competitive Dustin is. So I think Dustin would have probably done well, but just the fact that, you know, what people seen on the show with the whole gay porn thing, Kenny, Evan, Johnny, they really big and like cracking jokes, and I felt like they would have just dug into him about that. So that probably would have got him in the fight and got him sent home. So it probably would have been a good look. Dustin would have been competitive to a fault. Did you hate Wes? Leroy the man, did you hate Wes on TV? Watching Wes on TV, you know what? No, I never hated Wes. Looking at Wes on TV, he looked like somebody that I wanted to compete against. When I seen him, like, you know what? This kid's on here. He's always winning. I want to go up against him and see what it's really about. So, and that's the same thing when y'all watch it. Y'all see CT on TV or Kenny, you like, yo, if I had my chance to go up against these kids, I'm going to do my thing. And that's the same way I looked at it. And as I look at the show, you'll see my facial expressions, and I'm always like squinting. That's because I wasn't wearing my contacts and my black ass can't see. But I'm always just like I always like to observe everything that's going on around me. So as TJ's explaining the challenge, I'm trying to think, and like sometimes I overthink it about. Did the others intimidate Miranda? Did the others' intimidation affect your game? Other people's intimidation didn't affect my game at all. Like, a lot of the thoughts that I had, me and Mike kept, anything that me and Mike didn't like that was going on in the house, we kept it between us because of the fact that we were new. So to keep the light off of us, we just kind of sat back in the cut and chill. Anything that we didn't like, me and Mike would talk about it alone, and then that would be it. And it's all about, you know, and this is another thing that they probably don't show. These first two challenges, me and Mike always pray before every challenge. And that's not just on the fact of like, pray for a win. No, we don't do that. We just pray that we're going to make it out of that challenge, because a lot of the challenges that I've seen before can get pretty dangerous. So I'm all about living, man, and I definitely do believe in the man above. So we definitely pray before every challenge. Did I play any college sports? No, I never went to. This is another thing. I am from Michigan. I love the University of Michigan, but I never went there. I never went to college a day in my life. So Matthew Cole, yo, is CT crazy. I get so much stuff on CT. CT, without liquor, he kind of like, you know, kind of off the wall with some alcohol in him. Hell yeah, he crazy. But you have crazy, then you have stupid. Like, I feel CT might be crazy, but I don't think that, like, he's stupid. And I feel like he'll get away with certain stuff with certain people, the way I look at it. So, I mean, if you weak, he'll probably prey on you. If you strong, then maybe he'll build an alliance with you. But real quick, I want to make sure I plug something. My t-shirt line. All y'all, my followers on Twitter, I need y'all to check that out. Even if you don't buy nothing, take a glance at it and tell somebody else about it. It's called itstshirttime.com. Royally inspired t-shirts. Everybody, make sure you keep hitting my YouTube channel, the Roylee MTV, the Roylee 25 MTV, and my Facebook, the Leroy Roylee Garrett. I'm gonna read some more of the comments y'all got right here. TMS212. I heard I do want to do a podcast with Bill Simmons. I know exactly who he is. He's familiar with me. He hasn't came to me yet about the podcast. I tweeted him a couple times, so if anybody can help put that together, I definitely appreciate it. P.S. Matthew Cole, you don't like Jasmine from Houston. I mean, why not? Really, I have nothing against Jasmine from Houston. Jasmine kind of went a little crazy on tonight's episode. I really can't understand why, because there's so much, you know, back and forth going on with all the girls. But I mean, that's what happens when you're doing these challenges. See, the thing is, you gotta try to stay away from all of that. Play your game. Don't worry about what's going on. If somebody's talking about you, you gotta ignore it. And that's what separates me from the challenge and me from some of the people in the world. You can't always, you know, worry about what people are saying about you. Let people talk. If haters gonna hate, period. You'll see people hating on me on Twitter. And what I do is I'll retweet it and let my followers, y'all, Team Roylee, eat them alive. So, you know, let them hate. Also, me and Mike have a podcast coming. We're going to do it tomorrow with Derek from the challenge. So that should be good. Make sure y'all tune into that. Olivia 32, do I ever get recognized in the street off of being out the real world? I get recognized every day of my life. Actually, today at work, and a lot of y'all, this is my new people that's on here in this Ustream, I still do work for waste management. I still do drive the garbage truck. I still do get on the back to do my thing and throw that trash. I also do appearances on the side. Being on the real world, no, it hasn't made me rich. Yes, it has put some extra dollars in my pocket, and yes, it will continue to put some extra dollars in my pocket, but I definitely still do have my day job. When you see me tweeting and you see me saying leave, you know, you see me saying I drink AMP energy drinks in the morning, that shit is real. Today actually was a real long day at work today. I appreciate everybody that, you know, stays up and watches the show, everybody that comes inside my Ustream, everybody that hits me up on Twitter, my Facebook. I see all of your tweets that come in. Tonight I'll go home and I'll read through them. Some of them I may retweet, some of them may just look at it and laugh. Please stop sending me the message saying that, you know, Roylee never tweets me back. You know, I'm not going to follow him. It's definitely not like that. I have like over 70,000 followers, so it's kind of hard to see every tweet that come through. When I first got on Twitter, I could see everybody and I could reply and I could follow people. If I don't follow you when you ask me to, I'm sorry. It really shouldn't be that big of a deal, but it's all love. And can you do? They coming in so fast. Are you gonna do another challenge? Miss Bree, 21. Am I gonna do another challenge after the rivals? Actually, what y'all don't know, MTV, this may be the last challenge. So depending on how the ratings are, will depend on whether they do another challenge. Will they call me back? Who knows? It just depends on if I can make it past this next episode. If I don't make it past the next week, then they may not call me back. And even if I do lose next week or whatever the case may be, I'm still a beast. And the way I look at it is, if I can win 100 grand, cool. If I don't, then it's just, I didn't win 100 grand. It wasn't like I owned the money anyway. So for me and Mike, it was more so of like, I'm happy to see my boy. I get to spend time with him. I definitely want to win the money. And if something happens to where we get thrown in the jungle, we're going to do our thing. Tonight, that's the end of my Ustream. I try to give y'all as much information as possible. I definitely appreciate the love, y'all watching every week. And I'm about to get up out of here. And real quick, thanks to everybody that came out tonight to my watch party at the Boiling Point in Carrollton, Texas. We out here. I just ate some good catfish, had me some sausage with it. You know, the mustard and the hot sauce. You know how black people do it with the bread and all that. So definitely big shouts out to Boiling Point. They just had their grand opening today. It was a good look. Wherever I'm at in the world on a Wednesday night, I'm going to definitely do a Ustream. I'm going to have a watch party. That's guaranteed. You can stamp that. Make sure you check out all my t-shirts on Roylee's inspired t-shirts at its-t-shirttime.com. See, this app is throwing me off, man, and I'm tired, man. I've been in the heat all day. Now, one thing before I get out of here that you may notice, after each week, I'm going to get a shade of darker every week because my black ass is in the sun. So please, tomorrow I'll be working in Cedar Hill. That's like right outside Dallas. Leave a nigga a Gatorade. Excuse my language. Holla back.